One of the top questions I'm ever asked is, should I be using Facebook or Google ads in my real estate business? So in this video, we're going to break down what the big differences are and how they differ both in cost, in quality of the leads, and also in how complicated they are to set up and run, because that actually has a major implication in which you should do. In a perfect world, I would actually be running both Google and Facebook because they reach people at different stages in the lead funnel. And that's the very first thing to understand is, what are these leads and where are they at in the buying process? So think about the last time you were on Facebook and saw an ad. You weren't there looking for that information. Really, what you were doing was you were scrolling through Facebook kind of for an entertainment value, most likely looking for posts from your friends, posts from family, cat videos, whatever your fancy desires. That's why you're on Facebook. Then you'll happen to get an ad that sometimes are really creepy, like your toaster broke this morning. Then all of a sudden you got an ad for a toaster. We don't know why, just that's how Facebook's algorithm works. And that's what we're going to be doing with real estate ads as well. Basically, when we give money to Facebook to run the ads, it's targeting the people it thinks is most interested in looking at a property online. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're searching for real estate. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are in the funnel to want to buy or sell real estate, but it does mean that they have some interest. Much like an open house visitor, when they come in, we know that they have some reason to be there. Even if they say they're just a nosy neighbor or a looky-loo, they have some reason they came in. That's fairly similar to what we are getting from Facebook leads. Now, take that and compare that to what a Google lead is, where they've actually gone to Google and they've typed in some keywords, some key phrases, such as homes for sale in Santa Cruz, houses for sale in Santa Cruz, condos for sale in Santa Cruz, what's my home worth? All these different keywords that we set up and target those specific keywords to say, if somebody searches for this phrase, I want to show up in those top results in Google. So obviously you can already start to see the difference. On Facebook, they were casually scrolling, they happen to see your ad and they might have interest. Whereas Google, they've gone one step further and they've actually searched out real estate for sale in your area, if that's the type of ad you're running. Now, that difference is what leads to the difference in the quality of the leads. It's not to say that Facebook leads are less quality, it's just that they're higher up in the funnel. They're a little bit higher in that intent, and that also brings a lower cost, which we'll talk about in the next segment. But first, just talking about the quality themselves. Going back over the last 30 days of our leads, where we've brought in basically an equal amount of Google and Facebook leads, we can see that our Facebook leads have about a 30% response rate, where the Google leads have about a 40% response rate. So either way, because we're following up diligently and quickly on the leads, we are seeing responses from them. The Google ones are just a little bit higher than the Facebook side. Now, their initial response is one thing, but we also look at the quality of the lead that comes in, as far as, are they just saying they're not interested? Are they not really giving us any detail? Or is this somebody that is actually ready to be in our pipeline right now? Over the last 30 days, we have definitely seen an uptick in the quality of lead from the Google ads compared to the Facebook ads. You would have to determine for yourself, is the cost difference between the two leads enough? For us, we see the difference, but we're not overly worried about what that difference actually is, because at the end, it feels that it mostly balances out. So next, let's look at the actual costs of these leads. At the end of the day, Google leads just do cost more. In our area, we typically get Facebook leads for under $5 a lead. In Google, we're pushing $12 to $15 per lead. Again, the Google lead being higher quality, we have to determine, is the increased cost good enough to outweigh the cost of the Facebook leads? This is also why I often say I would be running both at the same time if you had the budget for it, because we're capturing people at different stages in the funnel, and that's great. We're going to follow up with both of them equally. In the next segment, we'll talk about the difficulty of running the ads. And in Google, oftentimes people will choose to have somebody administer the ads for them, which does increase the cost. And that creates a perfect segue to talk about how the difficulty relates between both Facebook and Google ads. Facebook ads are extremely simple to run. It's something that I can end up teaching you in about an hour, and down below I'll even have a link to a course that we teach that will walk you through practically step by step of how to get the ads up and running, and you can have your first leads within a day or so. Facebook's algorithm actually takes care of everything for you. You don't have much administration into it once you get the ad up and running, other than just keeping an eye on the metrics to make sure it's not like a runaway ad you're spending money on and not getting leads from. But really, Facebook is doing the heavy lifting for you using AI and their algorithm to figure out who to put the ad in front of. Google Ads, on the other hand, are much more manual feeling, where we have to actually manage the keywords. We have to continually optimize the keywords, headlines, descriptions. Google does do some of that for you, determining if the person that searched the phrase is somebody that should be delivered that ad, but ultimately you're still responsible for figuring out which keywords are performing best and finding that balance between some keywords are going to cost more than others and which ones are actually bringing in the quality of lead that you're looking for. Now, with Google Ads, we also need a lot of data in order for us to manage and maintain those ads and keywords, and so that's going to take a lot of clicks, and in Google we pay per click. That's why it's called Google PPC. And we need to have enough money behind that in order to get the information to trim down those keywords, phrases, and descriptions. The last thing to know about Google Ads is that your website critically matters. We're going to be sending raw traffic from Google to your website to a landing page to get them to convert. Some websites are just set up better to capture those leads through their landing pages, what forms they put in front of the lead, how it interacts with them. Do they have easy sign in versus a difficult sign in? This all matters. And so, depending on your specific tech stack that you have, either as an individual on your team, will absolutely matter with Google Ads. Because of these complexities with Google Ads, a lot of people will actually pay a consultant or a company to run the ads for them. Of course, this is going to add to the cost, but it's often worth it in exchanging time for money to not have to learn how to run the ads and have to spend the time managing them. Again, kind of getting that runaway cost of you're spending money on the clicks but not converting leads. Let's say the cost of a typical Google lead in your area is $11, but that you're paying somebody $500 a month just for basic ad management of your ads. If in that month you brought in 30 leads, that added an additional $16 per lead, taking your lead cost from $11 to $28. In many markets, $28 for a higher quality lead will still absolutely be worth it, but it's kind of a hidden cost that can sneak up on you if you're not paying attention. Ultimately, you have to decide on a couple of things. Where are you at in your business? What does your revenue and profit look like? And how much dedication and time can you give to building out these ads? And are you in a position where you could actually hire a consultant to do this for you? For most people just starting out into online ads and online leads, I would actually suggest starting with Facebook because it's simple to understand and you don't need any specialized software or websites to do it. I have some videos that explain the exact ads I would create, and we also have a course where you can actually go kind of step by step in this is the exact system that I would set up in order to collect leads on a week by week basis. If you're more established in business, or if you're running a team and you want to start focusing on some higher quality leads, that's where Google Ads would probably be a great option for you. And again, running both Google and Facebook simultaneously. Again, I would have a consultant or a company run the ads for you at first. Sometimes you can learn from them and figure out how to do them on your own after, but it's often a cost that's minimal enough that you can just have them essentially as a consultant on your team running those for you, always optimizing and keeping higher quality and quantity of leads coming in. If that's something that interests you, reach out to us and I can get you connected with the right people for that. And if you just want to talk one-on-one about which is the best strategy for you and how can Facebook or Google Ads help you out, reach out below and we'll be in touch.